Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our daily word this morning, this Friday, this beautiful Friday morning. I'm glad you could join me for our time together as we continue our conversation through the word and through scripture and what it means for us. Carter and Hudson are here today. We have Carter, who is Leonardo. Um, what are you?
Leo.
A Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Ninja Turtle. That's right. And Hudson's here too. I'm not sure which Ninja Turtle is Hudson.
Uh, I'm gonna tell. He's Mikey, so he's Mikey.
He's Michelangelo.
No, he's Mikey with the orange.
Oh, he's
with
Mikey.
The orange one.
Oh, okay.
So he's the only one has no weapons. Like the spinning one.
I see. Okay. So anyway, they're hanging out with me today because no school at their school, and then next week Hudson will start preschool and Carter will go to kindergarten on Wednesday of next week. So lots going on with all of us. So thanks for joining me, and today is daily word number 769 as we continue our journey together. So I've chosen for our scripture for this morning, 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. We hear this. Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. So not yesterday, but the other day, I had a conversation with someone, and the conversation began to center around being angry. Be careful, boys. Being angry. And we were talking about that, and the person said, I just get angry really easy, and I have a hard time not getting angry. And we had a long conversation about what that meant. And I said to the person, I've almost found in my life that I just don't have the energy to be angry anymore, and that I try to just be, not that I don't get angry, because I do, but that I try to be more consistent in my feelings and try to level all of that thing out. And I think for us and for the scripture, we're reminded in it that, well, it's true that there are few things in life more difficult than being consistent. It's probably the most sought after human identity that we could possibly have. It's the key to being ourselves. How do we truly be who we are? Everywhere, all the time. And Paul reminds us that to be consistent, to live, whole lives, and to not get frustrated in the ups and downs of all of our lives, because sometimes we have mountaintop experiences, we have valley experiences, but most of our lives, right, are lived on the plains. So Paul reminds us that for us to pursue truth, that we should be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that when we do that, then our labor is not in vain, as Paul would say to us, that it has a way to make a difference in the world. So when we bind ourselves to a position of love, of being consistent, of seeing every circumstance for what it's worth, not allowing ourselves to get caught up in the emotion of hatred and anger and all the things that, so many things that just drive our attention, but to be consistent. And the way we do that the most is that we ground our values and our longings in God and in our identity rather than in our circumstances. And I think that's one of the challenges in the conversation I had with this person the other day about, the person said, I just find myself so easily angered. I think one of the problems with why that happens, and we talked briefly about it, was that the reaction to circumstances that were going crazy around that person weren't a true reflection of who they were, and that they should find this way to react deep inside their identity. So what's Paul calling us to? What does it mean to be steadfast? I think to be steadfast means that we have to have this deep knowledge of who we are and who God is, and that we should always act every single day as if God is in the midst of our lives and that God's going to move and shape us, that we're immovable, that we're not just flown around and thrown around by the winds of change and all the things that demand our attention, the news cycle, all the things that just jump up and down at us. Abounding in the work of the Lord. Knowing that what we do, all of our work, whether it's paid work or volunteered work or helping our families or whatever it is, that when we abound in the work of the Lord, that it's work done for a cause, and it's work that makes a difference, and it's work that makes the world a better place. And so when we got done with the conversation the other day, the person said to me, Jim, I'm really going to try. I'm really going to try to be more consistent in my reaction to people. Now, that's not hard. It's hard for, that's not easy, I'm sorry. It's hard for all of us. Life's tough. But Paul reminds us that if we were to look at ourselves, take a deep look inside of ourselves, try to be steadfast, try to be immovable, try to abound in the work of the Lord, then it's true that then our lives would be more consistent and we would probably find ourselves in a happier place. And I think that's one of the challenges I face, and I know many people face. We have a hard time being consistent. Life throws so many curves at us, ups and downs, that we just want to react to all of them instead of being consistent and steadfast and immovable, knowing that God works in and through us. And I don't know, that's a tough challenge, but I think it's one that we need to hear about and think about and ponder as we live our lives. And that's the challenge I think that jumped out at me this morning when I read this text early this morning. Be steadfast, be immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that what we do, the work we do, is not in vain. And that's so important for us to remember. So that's our word for today. I hope that a little piece of it sticks with you and helps each of us as we live our lives together. So thanks for joining me. Hope you'll join us Sunday morning at 10:15. As I said yesterday, we're going to talk about Joseph, and we're going to talk about forgiveness and what that really means for us, as we live our lives. So join us at 10:15 Sunday morning. Otherwise, I will see you here again on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day, my friends, and a great weekend. Know of God's love that surrounds you, and know of my love for you.